Glad to have you back. It's the Business Daily right here on Trust Television. Now we go into our conversation. Nigeria's compressed natural gas (CNG) conversion faces challenges, including high conversion costs for individuals, limited refueling infrastructure, conversion centers, a lack of inadequate supply of imported conversion kits and components. Other issues include public skepticism about safety, the need for skilled technicians, and of course the reliance on foreign exchange for kit import, which add to cost and supply chain vulnerability. My guest today is somebody that has been consistent in explaining the benefit of compressed natural gas and how adopting it will cut down the exorbitant fuel consumption in the country, trimming down greenhouse gas emission, and bring about a sound economic growth. My guest is Farouk Abdullahi, who is the chairman, CNG Stakeholders Forum. He joins me right here in the studio. Good morning, Malam Farouk. Good to have you on Business Daily.
Good morning, Yusuf. It's my pleasure.
All right. Your advocacy about CNG has been very, very strong. Won't give you that optimism. Have you tried it elsewhere or tested it before?
Well, first of all, I'm a Nigerian, and as a patriotic one, it is incumbent upon me to promote what I feel would work. There is a problem within the energy sector, which is occasioned, I think, right from the removal of fuel subsidy. We have seen that fuel prices have hovered around 1,000 naira per liter. And again, in order to ameliorate or cushion the effect of such increase in the prices, the government now introduced a policy which is leaned at, promoting the adoption of compressed natural gas as an alternative fueling option in the country, which, of course, it is a cheaper option, it is safer, and perhaps it is environmentally friendly. So for that reason, I was left with no option than to be in the front seat in promoting it, in advocating for it, and also the numbers we have also are in support, are in favor of the long-term, utilization of CNG in the country. Let me put a context to what I'm saying. Nigeria today is ranked the highest in terms of natural gas reserve in the entire Africa.
Correct.
We are amongst the 10th in the world in terms of natural gas reserved. We have around 600 cubic feet of potential gas reserves in the country. Nigeria constitutes around 33% of the total gas reserve in the entire Africa. What happens to the utilization of it? We would say that it is below optimal, it is insignificant, it is inconsequential. So this gives more justification into looking at, policies that would ensure that Nigeria is gradually shifting from an oil-based economy to a gas-based economy. This gas can be used to power transportation, to power industries, and also to provide long-term energy security in the country.
Indeed. It's just like we are getting to know all of this now since subsidy was indeed taken out, because if given our gas reserve, which is very, very huge, it does seem we've not really been doing anything about it all over these years, except about 2 or 3 years ago, about 2 years ago, or rather, when subsidy was taken out and the idea of a CNG was mooted.
They say necessity is the mother of invention. So I think the economic reality have unmasked, the potentials, the need to leverage on the potentials, the inherent endowment that we are having in the country. And that is why we are focusing and we are putting all our energy in seeing that we harness such. Most of our gas before now are being flared up, being in waste. We are not utilizing it. There are visionary strategies in terms of ensuring that the gas distribution networks is being completed across the country. And we have seen the Trans-Saharan gas pipeline also, which means that we are not only servicing our country alone, but we are feeding the entire, neighboring countries and, some part of the world as well. So as a matter of fact, this policy of CNG adoption, it is timely, and it is about time we all delve into it with full force and full energy.
Indeed. It's been over maybe about 2 years when that program was initiated by Mr. President. How far so far? How will you rate the performance of PCNGI so far?
Practically speaking, given the resources at their disposal, and within the mandate that they have been given, I would say that they are tremendously doing well. I would scale them on an excellent grade. But notwithstanding, I won't say that the whole idea of CNG adoption revolves around an arm of the government. That's the PCNGI. There's also private stakeholders that are also there to ensure that long-term sustainability of it is being maintained. So frankly speaking, since the inception of this program, it started with just a handful of conversion centers, barely 10. Within a year, it skyrocketed to around more than 100. And today, as we speak, it has risen up to around 350 conversion centers across the country. So this is within 18 months. So this goes to tell us that, CNG has come to stay. And also, another thing that I would use to measure progress is fueling queues that we see in filling stations for CNG. This goes to tell you that, look, this CNG itself has a value chain, and we have to unbundle and invest in the entire value chain. We have to be actively engaged in it before we could reach to where we would say that it is desirous. The conversion centers is first and foremost, and that program has been successful. We could say that conversion today is average at around 100,000 conversions right from the inception of the program. Although there's a broader ambition of reaching up to 1 million conversion by 2027, which will be a good one if that is achieved. Secondly, another area in the value chain is the compression of the gas itself. So this is another area that have seen to the realization of investors trooping in to invest in such aspects. Today, as we speak, investment, public-private investment within the CNG space is approaching $1 billion. So what does that mean? It simply shows that, look, there's a market there and people have seen the viability of it and they are trooping in money. The government is also supporting it through its various arms, especially the presidential initiatives on CNG.
All right. Let's look at the penetration, which I think is very, very important. The penetration doesn't seem to be fair. I've read complaints from a certain group in Bauchi State. They call themselves Togetherness and Development Forum in Bauchi State. As at the time they released that press statement, they did say that we had 248 conversion centers in Nigeria, and out of that 248, only 24 were in northern Nigeria. How fair is the distribution?
Well, I would say it's a matter of infrastructure gap. It's also an issue of awareness. It's also, let's say, an issue, I would say, in terms of policy, the policy is there, and the foot soldiers to implement it at the primary sector, but the enabling environment that is required for such to spring up, is important. As we speak, conversion centers now are getting more grounds in the northeast and in the northwest. Perhaps in the north central it has been there. And in the south also there are a whole lot of conversion centers. So I would say that that report is a little bit outdated, because as we speak, and as published in the PCNGI website, we have over 350 conversion centers. And predominantly, a lot of centers are coming up in those areas. Bauchi is part of the northeast. Greenville have invested
in Yola,
Adamawa State,
yes,
in CNG, in gas infrastructure, which CNG refueling station is occasioned there. So it is, when we talk of policy, it's a gradual thing. The success of it, or the success in terms of its level of penetration, is measured by the time frame, based on the scalable, predetermined time frame that is predefined, as a policy. So in Abuja alone, we have a whole lot of conversion centers here. Gradually, we have it trooping in Kaduna. We are getting in Kano. I could see conversion trainings taking place in Kano. I could see young folks
But I've spoken to some people in Kano who told me that they've not seen any conversion centers in Kano.
No, there are conversion centers. Personally, we have conversion center in Kano. The likes of ABG have.
Okay, how long was that?
It wasn't quite long. A few months back.
Okay.
We have stationed all conversion centers, and what is taking place now in Kano is aggressive training and sensitization, so that the folks there would appreciate and understand the importance of it, and it creates opportunities. You could see the overwhelming number of youths that are so willing to learn and to acquire the conversion skills and knowledge. So it would go a long way in creating jobs, empowering people, and also engaging the youth in a way that they won't be an additional predicament to our society. So it's really a good one.
It is quite impressive. Now, given the peculiarity of Nigeria and how big that we are as a country, how long do you think it's going to take us for us to be able to, benefit, talking about the large number of Nigerians benefiting from this CNG initiative?
Benefit is measured by impact. And impact can be felt directly or indirectly. First and foremost, at personal levels, the program around the conversion exercise championed by the presidential initiatives on CNG is targeted at providing free conversion services to commercial drivers. And what does that mean? It means that these free conversion services would translate into lower cost of transportation to poor folks and Nigerians in generally that are utilizing such units, such transportation systems.
But identifying the CNG vehicle, especially for the private vehicles, is somehow very difficult.
No, there's a matrix. Usually, most of the vehicles that are converted are usually tagged,
But for commuters, I find it difficult to identify.
No, even at that, it is any conversion center that converts usually tag it, that is a CNG vehicle. So by that, you would easily identify conversion. It's written boldly,
What about drivers who are engaged in sharp practices? They may want to remove those tags and, of course, continue, charging commuters same prices they charge when they are using petrol.
That is why the conversion exercise is done in collaboration with the transport unions like NURTW, NATO, and their likes. So they are there to checkmate and ensure that they are not circumventing from the agreed template that was presented before them. So they are there to checkmate them. Any sharp practices that is caught would be dealt with accordingly, according to the law. So anybody caught doing that can report it. If you find any driver doing that, report it to the right authority, and action will be taken against such drivers. It's a compliance issue. And I believe all the regulatory institutions that are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that there is compliance will be on the front seat in checkmating that.
Indeed. Let's look at the cost of conversion, which is also very high as well. According to some information we get from our research online, conversion kit and installation can cost between 900,000 and 1.8 million, depending on the kind of vehicle that you're using. I mean, this is also very huge.
Yes, it's huge because it's huge, but it's not huge at the same time. If you look at the comparative cost advantage, of converting your car today with an anticipation of enjoying reduced cost in fueling your car, within few months or at maximum a year, you'll break even. You'll start benefiting perpetually the benefit of putting up such upfront cost. But I understand in a situation whereby someone doesn't have, the upfront cost for the conversions, what would someone do? That is why we are encouraging banks and other fintechs to have a kind of, a repayment plan for ordinary Nigerians so that they could have access to this funding and gradually pay off the full amount. So that will go a long way in resolving and solving the issue of upfront cost.
Is there no way this cost can be brought down to at least a level where ordinary Nigerian can afford?
Ordinary Nigerian can afford installmental payment. Ordinary Nigerian that can afford filling up, buying fuel at an average of 1,000 naira can also, for a short period of time, sacrifice that in acquiring the CNG kit, installing it in his vehicle. After that period, he would continue to perpetually enjoy that benefit. So what we are encouraging is for banks and other fintech companies to come together, and design products that would enable Nigerians to have access to these conversions.
Indeed, which is indeed very important. How involved are they? Because I understand that some of the kits are imported. Is there any move or any plan to encourage local manufacturers?
Yes, the government is encouraging local manufacturers. The government is incentivizing local production. You can, various programs indicated by NASENI and even PCNGI, whereby they are trying to promote this kind of collaboration, whereby we can have local manufacturing of all these items is there. So it's something that the government need to also, prioritize. This would cushion the effect of, dependence on foreign exchange to import these kits, which obviously would have, a direct, impact on the final price, which definitely is transferred to the final consumer. So definitely there's an ongoing work on that.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's all right.
Okay, but do you think government took the cart before the horse? By creating an enabling environment, build up some local manufacturers, engage some industries to produce this kit before eventually begin the implementation of CNG program?
Well, this is a matter of policy and policy implementation. It has strategic roadmap, milestone, and all of that. What I expect you to ask is what is happening to the infrastructure gap, because that is directly related to the question that you are asking. As I told you in my earlier statement that we are having, the fueling deserts that we are having, the long queues, indicates that there is infrastructure gap in terms of the refueling, available refueling stations in the country. I know a single oil marketer that owns over 700 to 800 filling stations. How many CNG refueling stations are we having in Nigeria? That is the question. Obviously, the government in collaboration...
Perhaps the time frame is too early for us to begin to maybe rate the CNG conversion centers. It's barely 2 years. It's a program that is barely 2 years. Maybe we can just keep it within that time frame. What do you think?
Well, we can rate it. There's progress. There is impact. There are testimonies from taxi drivers.
I'm talking about comparison.
Comparison in terms of what?
Comparing it to, you made a comparison now to a marketer owning about 700 filling stations.
Oh, yeah, that's where I'm trying to get to, you know. Even, you know, I explained that there are different value chains within the CNG ecosystem. The conversion centers are involved in the retrofitting of cars to operate on dual fueling system, the compressed natural gas and the petrol, the PMS. That's one aspect. The second aspect that I'm talking of is the retail outlets. You know, if you convert your car, you are expected to, you know, you are expected to refill it with the CNG. And we're having gaps in that area, you know. And this is very important that we look at that, you know. Number one, private players need to step up and invest also in the CNG ecosystem. It is very fundamental. The oil marketers we are having, if today they boldly say that we are going CNG fully blown, we are left with no option than to see a sporadic move, you know, an astronomical shift in the number of refueling stations in the country. Secondly, the government, you know, approach to it in terms of the interventions they are giving in, you know, investing in such value chain. We're aware that, you know, some companies have, you know, some private companies have built refill stations, and the number keeps growing, you know. But we need to see also the government incentivize it and make it easy for them. We know, like the Nigerian Midstream Gas Infrastructure Fund, they have been doing wonderfully well in supporting private players, you know, towards investing within the CNG, you know, downstream sector. So if that also can be upscaled and encouraged, it would ensure that the number of refueling outlets increases.
Okay, talking about not having the number of refilling outlet increases, there's also the challenge of even having the CNG available. Talking about the gas itself, available is another thing. I've seen many filling stations with long queues, and then some drivers have complained that many of them will have to park their car, sleep at the filling station for them to get the CNG.
The CNG.
Yes, so that's why I didn't say earlier that maybe government took actually the cart before the horse.
No. What the government did in terms of the CNG is timely, is strategic, and is necessary. But, okay, I'm getting there. I just touched upon two of the value chains, which is the conversion and the refueling.
All right.
But both can't work without also addressing the other aspects within the CNG space. I've talked of the conversion services. I've talked of the refueling services, which is also the same as the retail. Then next is the compressing and also the transportation of it. CNG now can be distributed across the country through virtual, trucking system, through virtual pipelines, which obviously is the trucking systems. And that can be achieved without having the sufficient amount of compressions, compression-like infrastructures. So these are areas also that we need to see the government stepping up, in supporting private stakeholders, to ensure that those, activities within the value chain is being carried out because they are interlinked. And another aspect also that is very crucial is also the pricing system within the CNG. It has to be economically viable, or there has to be business viability in the pricing of the CNG. This will promote, private sector investment within the entire value chain. You get it? And I've seen that there's efforts towards that. As at 1 or 2 days ago, we have seen that in most of the refill outlets now, CNG is being sold at 380 naira per standard cubic meters. So this indicates or depicts a fair pricing that would encourage investment in that.
Do you think that's a fair pricing? That pricing thing, yesterday I had some interaction with some people, and they told me that before, a liter of CNG was around 230 naira or thereabout, 240. But now, some of them did say that they bought it at 380, I think early yesterday morning. But later I heard the price was reverted back to the old price. Can you help us understand that now whether this decision that Nigerians are making is not something that will come back and they will have to regret later?
No matter what happens, CNG would remain cheaper than PMS, no matter the adjustment in prices. What I'm trying to make you understand is that this increase in price will go in favor of adequate supply. If it is very cheap and you don't have the supply, of what impetus will that be? But if the price is scaled fairly, not only for the consumers, but also for the investors, you can't come and invest hugely and you make peanuts, or virtually make nothing. That would deter investors from coming in to invest in most of this value chain that I'm talking of. But today that there is a fair pricing system, watch and see what will happen next in the next couple of months to come. You would see people investing in transportation, you see people investing in infrastructure, both foreign and local investors. So that is the implication of these slight changes in price. And no matter what happened to the prices, it can never be at the same level with the PMS. So that is just it. And we have seen the distribution channels across the entire country. If we were to take it to each of these...
But is this price, adjustment that you mentioned, is it not going against the NMDPRA pricing guidelines for the next 5 years? Because we're told that the prices is meant to be stabilized for at least for the next 5 years.
Having a fair price is tantamount to stability. Once the price is not fair, the effect it would have is more severe than not having a fair price. That is what I'm saying. So this price stability is a function of having a price that works for all. That is what fair means by literal implication, by implied meaning. So if the price is fair for the consumer, it's not fair for the producer or supplier, how do you describe that as fair? You get it? But if we have a price that works out for everyone, I think it's something that won't go against the guideline that you are mentioning.
In essence, now we should expect the prices of CNG to be adjusted from 240 to about 380 or 400.
I am an advocate for that. It's a fair pricing system. We need more investment within the CNG ecosystem. We want the CNG to be very much available. We want the majority, the overwhelming number of Nigerians to have access to CNG. And this CNG is not only about, personal commuters, individual commuters. Transportation of goods from within strategic locations in the country is also important. Dangote is importing 4,000 CNG trucks. Over 2,000 are available as we speak. What is he using it for? For transportation of goods, the petroleum products across the country at a very subsidized or even zero cost. So what will that do if goods and services are being transported, even with trucks, across the entire country? And I believe other oil marketers are following suit. They are talking of acquiring CNG trucks today. You know, they are talking of lowering the cost of transportations, and it will translate into low cost of goods and services.
Are we likely going to see later in future whereby the price of CNG is going to be at par with what we have with petrol now, given the demand that may likely going to come?
It can never be at par, as I told you, no matter what happens. It can never be at par.
Okay, let's assume PMS now increased to about 1,500 naira. Are we likely going to see a CNG, price of CNG moving to like 1,000 or 1,200 naira per liter later in future? Nigerians are skeptical.
If petrol is 1,200,
1,500,
500, then well, this question is relative, but I don't see it as an applicable, you know.
Because some are saying that if the prices keep increasing, it probably means that the aim may have been defeated.
Let me ask you, if petrol is now moved to 1,500 and CNG is it's killed at 1,000 naira, which is still cheaper?
It's still cheaper, but the aim for which it was introduced may have been defeated.
No. The aim is to
because Nigerians were told that they will pay next to nothing to get CNG.
No. Let me make.
But
it
now
clear.
they may have to pay through their nose again to get CNG as well.
Let me put it into a clearer context. We are not speaking of having to buy CNG at zero cost. We are saying that it is a cheaper fueling alternative compared to the PMS.
Right.
And that is what has been clamoring around. You understand? So if going by your own example, we say petrol is pegged at 1,500 and CNG still remains at 1,000 naira, it is still cheaper. So how is the aim defeated? The aim is not defeated in any way because it still remains its place as a cheaper, cleaner, and more environmentally friendlier fueling alternative, and safer. You get it. So it is. So that notion, I don't think it fits into the context very well.
Okay, in terms of regulatory framework, and how much of work do you think the NMDPRA is putting in place to ensure stability
in the pricing system?
Exactly.
You see, we need to see more investment in gas pipeline infrastructure. We need to see modern stations come up. We need to see more water stations. We need to see more of mobile refuel units. And within the purview of NMDPRA, they can do a lot in promoting and ensuring that this gas is available and is accessible to private stakeholders. So they are doing within their own ability, but they need to do more. They need to upscale, in that effort.
All right. Quite a whole lot needs to be done for us to be able to get it right there. Farouk Abdullah is Chairman, CNG Stakeholders Forum. Your background is finance, actually. I've read about you. You're also an energy consultant, entrepreneur, and a financial analyst. We thank you for your time on Business Daily.
Thank you so much. It's always my pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
With that is a wrap on this show today. We'll be back again tomorrow. I am Yusuf Akogun.